This is Shokora Zouheikyoku aka chocomint, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Delphine Discovery. In the last episode, we have finished investigating a few rooms, like their kitchen, their bathroom, and now we move on to the other room. I think it was their bedroom. I wonder what more information we could learn about this situation. So, let's continue. Audio recording pick up on a scratching sound against the window. It is likely due to a tree branch. Would you like to hear the audio? Sure, why not? The audio plays, and there's no mistaking it. The sound belongs to a tree branch that's scraping against the window of the room. There are a lot of trees around this area, so it's not surprising at all. I walked towards the curtains and placed my hand on one of them hesitantly. I went to check the window, but the security guard might see the light. This faces the back of the building, so it should be okay. Right. I slide the curtain open just a bit and peer outside the window. It's dark, but I can still make out a few things. Though that's not what catches my eye. There's a small balcony with a railing, but something doesn't seem right. Del, can you be my lookout? He raises his brow. What do you have in mind? I know you said that the security guard is at the front of the building, but I want to shine a light on the balcony. Say no more, my lady. I can keep watch. Realistically, there's probably not much that they can do if the security guard catches sight of us, but it brings me comfort anyway as I watch him salute me like a toy soldier. I move to slide the window open. The window seems to get stuck on the hinge, and I have to lean my weight into it to get it fully open. Wow, look at you go! My patio is broken like this. My dad swears he'll fix it, but he never does. Thanks, stuff instead. That's the only help we'll get from my dad. He'll kill me if he found out what I'm doing right now. Not really a fan of trespassing? No, I can't say that he is. He's a really traditional guy. His whole life has been spent in intestines, and his father's father. It goes all the way back. He believes in this town and in our mayor. You don't? I don't know what to think about our mayor now, considering he's letting Technia operate here. But anyway, he begins to mock me. Let's just say what you want to say, Delphine. You're not boring me with your theories. It's not that. I'm just protecting the people I care about. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
I do, and I respect that. But you also have to remember yourself and all that. I'll leave my lecture at that. A balcony is awaiting us, my lady. I roll my eyes, but I can't help smiling. They didn't push me to talk about myself, and I really appreciate it. Though his words do strike a chord within me. My motivations go beyond helping my family. I have to keep pushing forward to find the truth. We should have a signal or something, like a whistle. A whistle? You realize I'll be next to you and see the security guard at the same time as you, right? Boo, you're no fun. Me, my lady. You warned me. Again! Fine, I'll wear so. Perfect. I walk onto the balcony and reach forward to grasp for the brownie. We're not up too high, so I don't think I'll die if I tumble over, but it's certainly high enough to sprain an ankle. I shine the light on the railing, moving it left and right, stopping when I get to a small indent in the center. I run my hand along it, feeling the small wreck. Day, come look at this. What is it? It's a dent in the railing, like someone was leaning on it or something. Except it's made of stone, so like... That means something heavy was leaning on it, or hit it with a lot of force. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. Interesting. I snap a picture so we can look at it later. The two of us head back inside, making sure to cover our tracks by closing the window and curtains. Day, you know I haven't noticed any pictures of the staff or the kids anywhere in the manor. Isn't that a little strange? What would be the point of taking pictures of kids that will be leaving? You know, like a memory for the kids that are still there and miss their friends. Day shakes his head. No, I think that would be more sad. When a kid leaves an orphanage, they're moving on to a new, hopefully better life. The kids who stay behind will likely never see them again. Wow, when you put it like that, it's really sad. That's a part of life in an orphanage. Finding a family and moving on. It's supposed to be a happy time for the kids. They get their opportunity to make something of themselves. They could become lawyers, doctors, or online celebrities. I'm not even famous. I have a modest amount of viewers. Modest amount is better than no amount, right? It's better than being here every single day, just waiting for something exciting to happen. For someone to come and say, I want you in my family. By the way that Day is speaking, I get the feeling that he was once in a similar situation. Perhaps in a foster home? I don't know if it's... Well, let's just ask. Actually, there's no harm in doing it. Hey Day, I have a question for you. Ask me anything, my lady. He places his hands behind his neck and grins at me. It only tugs at my heartstrings even more. What is he hiding? You know a lot about orphanages, like more than someone who has done the research. But your speech just right now and the fact that you cleaned up this room. My lovely lady, what are you getting at? Were you a foster child or something similar? Sorry if the question bothers you. I really feel like this hits so close to home for you. It does, and I was a foster kid, I mean. You don't have to share if you don't want to. I don't mind. I think that you'll understand me a little better if I tell you anyway. I never knew my parents. They died in some kind of crane accident that no one ever told me about. I didn't care too much to bother looking into the details of what happened. Didn't know them, and they couldn't come back to life and adopt me, so it didn't matter to me. Does that make me a horrible person? No, I don't think so. Are you saying that because you feel bad for me? Not at all. You didn't know your parents. It wouldn't make sense if you wanted to live your own life without their legacy and beating your freedom. They could have been crime bosses or something. Imagine I would be the prince of the streets, an underworld mafioso, an underworld mafioso. Despite his jovial words, I can feel that day's memories haunt him. I decide to lighten the mood. I think you're too nice to pull that off. What? Me? Nice? I can be tough. Let's see it dance. He places hands on his hips and tries to glare at me, but it doesn't suit his face. I can see the corners of his lips twitching as he tries to hold back a smile.
You, Delphine, are a terrible investigator. You stink. Can totally smell you from here.
That's a terrible result. That's kind of funny. Oh, is that it, top guy? I thought that was really rude. Saying someone stinks, well, stinks. He's smiling now. I shake my head at his childishness. Oh man, that was a really, it's not a good insult at all. It's kind of funny. You know what? You're right. My heart hurts a lot, but I didn't want to let you know that. In all seriousness, Delphine, you're really helping me a lot here. For what it's worth, I do think you're doing a great job. All I'm doing is consulting my drone. You're the one with the extra information here. It's more than anyone else has done. People seem to look at this place and ignore it. Well, you do realize they could get a fine for just passing. What we're doing is probably considered breaking and entering. Breaking and entering for the right reasons. I promise I won't let you get in trouble for helping me. I appreciate that, but if something happens, I want you to run with me. Neither of us are getting caught, understood? Yes, Mom. Alright, back to work then. Next is, Vanity. This wardrobe is an area of interest. Many personal things can be stored within. Very true, Shokora. Use it too? Do you want the honors? I wish I had a better nickname for him, but for now, the one Shokora gave him will have to do. The honor is all yours, little dolphin. Such a way. Say less. I head over to the wardrobe and begin a search. In the large section at the bottom, I find an old wooden toys, a soft-cover chapter book with a faded cover, and some green Argyle socks that are not small enough to belong to a child. Adult socks. I hold a pair up and dangle them. Stuff, maybe? In a kid's room? It's actually interesting that there's only one dresser in a room with all these beds. I count them in my head. There are 6 beds in this room. I imagine there's more in the other rooms down the hallway. There are storage chests underneath the beds, but you can't see them with the pink blankets hanging up the sides. I'm taking mental note of this, but other than that, don't forget the drawer at the top. What drawer? Under the mirror. He points to it and I reach out to tug on the wood. I'm partially shocked when a hidden compartment pops out. Okay, I know you've been here a bunch of times before, but a hidden drawer? Come on now. My companion only shucks. What? You don't have one of these at home? An old antique vanity dresser thing? No, I can't say that I do. Oh, right. You're into new fancy stuff, Miss Hazardjoy. John. Same thing. Anyway, what do you find? I slide my hand across the almost flat drawer and stop when my hand runs across an old coin. Under the brass penny is a piece of parchment paper, much more taken care of than the recipe from the kitchen. Still, I'm careful when I take the paper out of the drawer. It's unfolded and almost untouched by the weapon of time. Dear Mouse. Huh? Look, it's a letter. I wave up in front of Dave's face, who only rolls his eyes. It's usually the other way around. What does it say? Oh, right. I was reading before I got distracted. There's no date, but the handwriting definitely belongs to a child. Dear Moss, today was a really fun time. I can't believe Miss Harkins believed you when you told her that you and I were going to gather firewood for the storks. I still feel kinda bad about that, so maybe we can go out and get her some later when you're done with your duties for the day. I know you're going to tell me I'm just a kid and then run off on your own, but I think it's really dumb when you do that. I may be little, but I have strong arms too. It continues on the back. I turn the letter over in my hands. There's a drawing of a little girl with a smile on her face, holding a plate of cookies. If you don't let me come with you, I'm not letting you have any of my special cookies. They're made with extra love and your pride while you watch me have them. So yeah, don't be a jerk, Moss. Let me come with you. Signed, Hera. In really big letters across the bottom. When I'm done reading the letter, I look up at Dave, who's frowning. He places his palm on his forehead and rests his head in it. These letters are so sad. First the recipe, now this. Oh, the recipe. This letter talked about baking cookies. Could it be this girl's recipe? We should compare the two. Right, good idea. I do as Dave suggests and take the recipe out of where I had carefully packed it in my letter bag. The letter is much better taken care of. Perhaps because it was given to an adult, this most person, who kept it safely stored away this whole time, whereas the recipe belonged to a little girl who must have used it to bake cookies often. I hold the two pages side by side and the similarities are unmistakable. The same girl wrote both. There are much. I'm starting to put together a little story here. Oh, come on, I want to hear it. This girl, Hera, and this person, Moss, are really good friends. They must care a lot about each other. Moss is obviously an adult who takes Hera out to do fun things. There's the lady in charge. I'm assuming it's the lady in charge that they're working. So maybe you're right about the adult socks and they're belonging to her staff. This must be Moss' dresser. They stay with the kids? I'm not clear on that part yet, but I can surmise that they worked here and were close to this Hera girl. How does this help our case? I'm not sure if it really does, but at least it would help draw attention to the voices of the children who died here. I think people will understand that it was like living in the Little Voices orphanage before the tragedy, if they can hear from those who used to live there. I mean, this Hera girl sounds like a delight. She's having a good time in baking cookies. You can't use that letter to get more attention for your videos. It's not for your video. It's not for my video day. It's for your cause and getting people to stop overlooking this place. Real people live there. Real people lived here. We shouldn't be using it as a tested site. We should be honoring the people whose lives were tragically brought to an early end. I feel like that's a double-edged sword. I get more attention for the orphanage, but you also get what you want and get people to want to take me out of here. It's a win-win. I don't mind it. As long as you don't take advantage of the voices of the orphanage. These were innocent people, adults and children alike. They don't deserve to be exploited for personal gain after their deaths.
I promise you, I won't, Day.
Okay, I believe you. Please don't let me down. I don't blame on it, but I don't tell Day that. I want him to find that out on his own and keep believing in me to do the right thing. Thank you, Shokora. Certainly, Delphine. As Shokora pops around, I stretch my arms over my head and let out a small yawn. Those bears are looking real nice. You tired already? Adults and children alike. They don't deserve to be exploited for personal gain after their deaths.
I promise you, I won't, Day.
Okay, I believe you. Please don't let me down. I don't blame on it, but I don't tell Day that. I want him to find that out on his own and keep believing in me to do the right thing. Thank you, Shokora. Certainly, Delphine. As Shokora pops around, I stretch my arms over my head and let out a small yawn. Those bears are looking real nice. You tired already? Oh yes, it's way past my bedtime. So you mean you don't stay up all night and investigate abandoned places? I know he's teasing, but I shake my head. I normally never visit places. My research usually stays online. Really? Oh, jokes aside, you're not half bad at this investigation thing. That's really only because you're here. You know so much stuff and I feel like I can bounce off your energy pretty well. So we're a regular Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson? I'm Holmes, right? Dave shrugs his shoulders and smirks at me. I said you weren't half bad. I didn't say you were a genius. But you're used to too. That makes you Watson. He places a hand on his cheek and sighs in an exaggerated manner. Yes, I can't really agree with that. Exactly. As Holmes, I say we move on to the next room. We're back in the dark hallway. Day and I have found quite a few interesting pieces of information that we need to put together. Though I'm starting to see a semblance of a narrative here, and that's a great foundation. Alright, I think we should split up for a bit.
Huh?
We're doing so well together. I want to go mess with some of the drones outside again. And make sure that the Sure, it's not the same without you, it's very hot, Pharaoh. And they is not suspicious. Well, kind of. It's a smidge of suspicion on him. Like he knows a lot of stuff. He might know more and he let on, but it's not something too dangerous. So their second choice is out. And Delphine is kind of scared of ghosts or something like that. So how about that? Let's do that. I'm scared by myself. Let's be honest. I'm a little scared. You scared? But you have done so well to get this far already. I'm actually impressed you didn't turn tail and run at the start. Besides, you said so yourself. Ghosts aren't real. And it still feels creepy to be in here by myself. You have made me feel at ease. You know, not having to face it all on my own. You have Shokora with you? Or is it actually my handsome face that puts you at ease? He gives a cheeky wink, which, in fact, does put me at ease. Maybe not so much his face, but his upbeat attitude has definitely brightened up the room at times when I've needed it. Having Shokora with me is one thing. You are another. I won't be far. Yeah, but
I promise.
nothing is going to happen, Delphine. He tries to reassure me with a smile that tells me everything will be okay. Remember, you first come here to investigate on your own, right? You don't need me breathing down your neck. Unless, of course, you're into that kind of thing. What? What? Despite the situation, a small giggle escapes my lips. But if you call my name, I will come running. Deal? I'm reluctant to have him lead my side, but I trust that he will keep his promise. Fine, deal. I watch Day walk towards the stairs. It feels like an eternity as he takes one step after the other. All the while, I chant under my breath that I can do this on my own. With Day gone, I turn my attention to the myriad of rooms we haven't searched yet. A quick sweep with Shokora brings up a place of intrigue. The only room on this floor to have a nameplate emblazoned on the door. Miss Harkin, the woman from Harris' letter. If she's the headmaster like I think, this could be her bedroom or her office. She'll have all the records of who stay here and I can cross-reference it with the information that's online to see who the big bad killer might be. Then I can use the other clues we've found to possibly piece the mystery all together, so that when Day comes back, I can show him some promising results. When I enter the room, the first thing I do is make sure the curtains are drawn before turning the lights on. Although Shokora is by my side, they don't offer me the same kind of support that Day is able to. For this part of tonight's investigation, I decide to do it on my own without Shokora's help. I'm not looking for anything found on the internet after all. I'm looking for old files. There are 2 bookcases full of literature, all rather pristine, if not touched at all. They're purely for decorative purposes. A tea set is laid out on the table. A brown liquid still in the tubs, and cookies probably so stout they'll crumble if I touch them. What's peculiar about the manor is that despite looking untouched by the outside world, there are no bodies spewed about and everything is relatively clean. Someone must have come to remove the bodies for burial, but even then, something doesn't feel quite right. You wouldn't know at all, not for the stories, that something has occurred in this building. With day gone, I began to feel a soreness unsettled in my stomach. Does he have something to do with this? He must. Something he said earlier doesn't sit well with me. He cleaned up the children's room, but left the kitchen looking as if it was completely untouched, aside from the natural wear and tear that comes with the passing of time. He conveniently knows what information to brought at, in the most opportune of times, like telling me to keep the recipe from the kitchen and then only a few moments before, suggesting I compare it to the letter in the desk. The same desk he knew where the hidden drawer was. Now, I don't know why he'll run off. I'd like to believe that his intentions are good, but I feel uneasy. What if he's working with Technia? What if I'm just a pawn in his game? He seems to know this place better than probably most people. The thing is, as I sit here and ponder all of this, my heart still aches thinking about him. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with Dave, and I don't want to get to the end of this journey to find out that he's been stringing me along. The flirting, the boyish charm, the words that seem to make me feel at home, could they all be a ploy? I don't want to have to go against him, but I can't pretend that it might not happen. I should return to my investigation and find out what other secrets reside here in Otome Mansion. I don't go back on my word, and now that I'm invested, I will see this through to the end. Whether I solve my own problem or figure out a way to let the orphans and staff members who died here find peace. For Hera and Moss. Okay, and that should be a good point to pounce in this investigation. This should be the end of our playthrough for today. We have just finished investigating the bedroom of the children and find some more clues regarding what had happened, along with a suspicion about a Day who is a lovely handsome man, a charming man, but very sus. In the next episode, we will be continue our investigation to the Miss Harkin's room, and I wonder what we will find. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on